Hi, Terry here from Stamping Magic. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is a little gift set of a card and a gift box for a new baby. I've used the beautiful Fable Friends stamp set together with the stitched So Sweetly dies to create both projects. The paper I've used for the background is actually from the retired Gingham Gala set. I'm trying to use up some of my retired products. You could get a similar look though by using some of the gingham from our colour collection 6-inch paper stacks. The box measures 3 7/8 of an inch deep, 2 3/4 inches wide and an inch high, which is 9.7 centimetres by 7 centimetres by 2.6 approximately. These are all the measurements you need for all the elements required to create this project. So if you are interested in reproducing it, you can take a screenshot and refer to it later. This is the Fable Friends stamp set, and I'm using the bunny, the darling baby sentiment and the grass image. I'm going to start by stamping my bunny image onto a piece of Whisper White. Now this is quite a large piece because this is for the front of my card. I've already created the one I need for my box. I'm using Memento Tuxedo black ink and I'm just going to stamp my bunny right into the centre of this panel. I'll stamp the grass image on either side of the bunny using Granny Apple Green ink. I'm going to emboss my sentiment, so I'm firstly prepping my cardstock with my embossing buddy to remove any static, and then I'm going to stamp it with VersaFine Onyx black ink and cover with clear embossing powder. Then I can heat set it with my heat tool. The images and sentiment will be cut out using some of the Stitch So Sweetly dies. I'm using the smallest one for the sentiment, the largest one for the image for my card and the third size down from the largest for my gift box. You also want to cut out 3 gorgeous grape mats using the largest die. I centered my image when cutting the mat for my gift box, but for my card I've kept the image towards the top. This leaves room underneath for the sentiment. You will need 2 gorgeous grape mats to create the box, one for the lid and one for the base. Now the lid is just 1/16 of an inch larger than the base, and you want to score these on all sides at 1 inch. I'm now going to mark the halfway point on each of the longer edges on the lid, so this is the larger piece, and then I'm going to take my 1 inch circle punch and just punch out a part circle at each of those points. The cutting required on both these pieces is exactly the same. So I'm going to take the lid to start off with and just cut up the score line to create a tab on each corner, and then I'm going to notch either side of that tab, and I do this just so the lid or base folds in a little neater. You haven't got bits poking up where you don't want them. So again, cut up the score line and then notch the tab, and then spin it round and do the opposite side exactly the same. I can then fold on all the scored lines and burnish them with my bone folder. To put the box together, all you have to do is apply adhesive to each corner tab in turn and position it onto the adjacent side section. And as you do this, make sure you retain a lovely square corner so that it's at 90 degrees. You haven't made it too tight or too loose. And just repeat this for all 4 corners of the base and then all 4 corners of the lid. I'm now going to add the stitched So Sweetly mats that I cut out earlier. The base will be adhered to the right side of one of these, but if you look underneath you'll see that the underside is quite rough from the die cutting process, which is why I die cut that third panel. So I'm going to stick 2 of them back to back and use those as my base so it looks good from all sides. And then the last one will be for the top of the lid. So I'm going to start by sticking 2 of these mats together, back side to back side, and I'm making sure I take the glue right up to the edges of the scallops. I don't want these separating on the base. Then I can lay the other one on top of it and make sure it's aligned perfectly. Now if you have any sticky, if any of the glue has oozed out, you can just run your embossing buddy around the edge and that will remove that. I can now position my base onto either side of this panel because they both look good. And the second panel was completely optional, so if you're not worried about what the base looks like, then don't worry about cutting that third panel. Okay, so I'm adding glue to the bottom of my base and I'm going to position it on top of that scalloped mat. and you'll find that it just fits inside the stitched detail on that mat, so you can just see it on all four sides. Give it a good press down with your bone folder and we're done. Now I can apply the last mat to the lid of the box. Now I'm going to add glue to the top of my lid, and this time I'm going to adhere it to the back side of that die cut mat, so the wrong side, because you want the nice side to be on top and that one to show. Now when you position it onto the mat, this time it will go over the stitch lines on all four sides, so you won't really see them. But it's the underneath, so it doesn't matter. You'll see the ones on top. You will need a bow for the little gift box and the card, and I'm using some of our organdy ribbon from the combo pack that we had. It might have been last year, so it's now retired, but we've got lots of different ribbon in the catalogue that would look lovely on this project. Now all I've done is create an appropriately named bunny ear bow. I'm going to decorate the gift box first of all, so I have my image panel and I have a black mat to go underneath it, and I'll add dimensionals to the back of this. Then I have a piece of the gingham gala paper in Highland Heather and the same size piece of Whisper White. The Whisper White panel is optional. I've just created it to back my paper piece, so when I wrap my ribbon round, the paper is a little bit more stable. But you can leave this off if you want to. I'm going to apply the ribbon using tear and tape adhesive, and the ribbon bow will be applied using glue dots. My card base is in Gorgeous Grape, and this is half a standard sheet of card, scored in the middle and folded to create a portrait card. Then I have a black mat and another piece of the Highland Heather gingham gala paper. For inside the card I have a white mat, and I'm just going to decorate it with a strip of the same paper which I've layered onto a strip of basic black card. Then I've got my image panel, and that goes onto a black mat, and on the back I've added dimensionals. Then I've got my sentiment panel, and that has its own little black mat which also has dimensionals on the back. And then I have my bow and my ribbon strip. And that's it, my project's now complete. I love this stamp set, I think the images are absolutely gorgeous. And here's another look at my original set. So this was in Daffodil Delight. And then I have made one other set. Again, the papers are from the Gingham Gala and they're actually lemon lime twist. But I coloured his little jacket using Granny Apple Green. And the box is in basic black. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.